Today, Josh Jacobs is known as one of the best running backs to come out of the 2019 NFL Draft. Jacobs went to Alabama University for 3 years, where he became the explosive and multi-skilled running back you know and love today. In his 3-year college career, he rushed for 1,491 yards and 16 rushing touchdowns, and caught an extra 571 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns. You might think Josh Jacobs is in the perfect spot right now, but back in his childhood days, this was not the case. He did not grow up the way you think he would have grown up, and I am here to tell you the story of Josh Jacobs. This information comes from Josh Jacobs himself. Most of this information comes from his article from the Players Tribune. Enjoy. On February 11th, 1998, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Joshua Jacobs was born. Back in 4th grade, his parents split and divorced, and he went to live with his grandpa. He thought it would only be weeks, but it was for sure longer than that, as he was now sleeping in a car which belonged to his father. His father spent most of his time working and protecting his son from the danger that lied throughout his neighborhood. Then he was finally able to live in an apartment. He also was able to live with his 4 other siblings as his dad won custody of the children. Then something terrible happened. His dad lost his job. Without being able to pay, all 6 of them were kicked out of the apartment, and you would think that his family could live at his grandpa's house, but his grandpa couldn't pay for much anymore, which led to the family bouncing to motels. His dad wouldn't eat when the food supply was scarce, as he gave his food to his children. When Jacobs was only 13, he was part of an attempted murder where someone shot at him. He quoted, "I didn't know what else to do. I was just walking up to the gas station with 3 of my friends when a car pulled up in front of us. One of the dudes inside said something. I didn't hear him. One of my friends said something back. I don't remember what. The car sped off. We kept on walking. Then we saw the same car loop back around. The lights cut off first. Then we started running. Then came the gunshots. I ran for about 10 blocks, one gear, non-stop, 100 miles an hour, faster than I've ever run in my life, just crashing through backyards and changing directions until I couldn't hear any gunshots or car engines. When I finally stopped, I had no idea where I was. I just remember it felt like all the air had been sucked out of my chest at once, like I had been punched in the gut." Jacobs went to McLean High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where he played both basketball and football. He mainly paid attention to football, though, as he quoted, "Football wasn't an escape. I didn't play to take out my frustrations, or to cope, or to keep off the streets. I played it because I loved it. By my junior year in high school, I knew I had potential. I thought I could be pretty good. By my senior year, I knew I could be special." But he entered as a zero-star prospect out of the class of 2015, as many scouts did not believe his statistics and many thought his coach was flat out making up his stats. One day, though, a scout was called down to watch him play one of his football games as a senior in high school. This day and game would later change Jacobs' life. He went off in this game, rushing for 455 yards and 6 touchdowns. Now you might think he might have just been carrying the ball a lot, but no. He did this on 22 carries, averaging 20.7 yards a carry. At first, Jacobs thought this game was just a myth, as after this game, he still had received no college offers, despite having better stats than people around him who were getting scholarships. Then, his father got a phone call. The caller said, "This is one of the best highlight tapes I have ever seen. It was like 12 minutes of straight touchdowns. How does he not have any offers?" This coach started a Twitter account just to post Jacobs' highlights. This coach would then change Jacobs' life forever. He got many phone calls, and by many, I mean a lot. Jacobs quoted, "But like a day or two after I started posting my highlights, my phone started ringing off the hook. Wyoming, Missouri, New Mexico State, Purdue, Oklahoma, so many schools. Some of these phone calls turned into scholarship offers. That's when I could finally breathe a sigh of relief. I had more than just some interest. I had actual offers. So no matter what, I was going to school somewhere, something not a lot of kids in my neighborhood get to do." After all these schools and after all these scholarship offers he received, he was originally planning to go to Wyoming, Then, Alabama showed up. Jacobs said, "Ask anyone I grew up with. Alabama was my favorite team. I had wanted to play there since middle school. So when they came into the fold, it was a wrap. Everybody knows Alabama for being a football factory, for putting dudes into the NFL left and right. But I didn't look at it that way. I saw it as an opportunity to play against the most elite competition in college football and to get a quality education at the same time. Where I'm from, kids don't get either of those opportunities. So that was all I was focused on. Getting to the NFL was the absolute furthest thing on my mind." Josh Jacobs started his college career getting 85 carries for 567 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns, while catching 14 balls for 156 yards with 0 receiving touchdowns in 14 games. In his sophomore year, he had a bit of a down year, playing in only 11 games, getting only 46 carries for 284 yards and only 1 rushing touchdown. But he caught another 14 catches, this time for 168 yards, 12 more yards than the previous year, and 2 receiving touchdowns. He also won the national championship this year. But in his junior year, he exploded for his best year, getting 120 carries for 640 yards and 11 rushing touchdowns, catching an extra 20 balls for 247 receiving yards and an extra 3 receiving touchdowns. This is when everyone knew Josh Jacobs as the running back he is today. Everything went really well for Josh Jacobs at this time, as he is now in the NFL, as he was drafted by the Oakland Raiders with the 24th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. Now you know the story of Josh Jacobs. He started off in a bad neighborhood, then having to hop to different places, being homeless, to now being the star player he is today. I personally hope that Josh Jacobs can become a star in the NFL as he was in college, as his backstory tells us how hard he worked to get where he is today. Good luck to him. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already, please leave a like on this video and subscribe for more content like this. I'm Wombat, and thanks for watching.